Political Insiders join us today here in the studio. We have Tony May live. Charlie Giroux couldn't join us today. He's on a business trip.
We were this close to hooking up with him on Skype, and if we do get him, we'll go to him in this segment. But
speechless.
That's technology.
He's speechless.
And this is the way you like it, because now we get your side of the story.
I can give his side as well as mine.
That's right. Fair and balanced.
Yeah, the big issue today, the Supreme Court taking on the issue of same-sex marriage. Where do you feel it's going? Is there any way to get an indication at all as to how the High Court's going to move on something?
Well, I think what we've heard in the oral arguments was that all the members of the Supreme Court, the conservatives and the liberals, are very sensitive about what they do. And as we were just talking before, there's a possibility they may do nothing, which will be then to uphold the appellate court, the regional appellate court case in California that overturned the Prop 8 that was banning same-sex marriage. So it may have the effect of liberalizing, at least in California, the law and the law of the land, but not in the rest of the nation. Or they could take up the case. And one thing I think they were sensitive to is that there has been a sea change in public opinion, that people generally are in favor of same-sex marriage, and that they're really playing catch-up right now.
But opponents are saying, keep it up to the individual states. Let the individual states decide whether to ban same-sex marriage or not.
Well, I think that the argument tomorrow will actually address that, which is the Federal Defense of Marriage Act, which would essentially throw it back to the states if the Federal Defense of Marriage Act is overturned. But what I think all sides...
And that involves benefits.
Involves benefits. And all sides recognize that this is the key argument. I think this is the fairness issue that people on all parts of the political spectrum, Charlie included, who's not with us tonight, but as a libertarian, he would say that people have a right to be treated equally, whether they're men or women. So if you're two men being married, do you want the same kind of rights that a male and female married couple would have? The same kind of economic rights and the same kinds of legal rights, leaving out the religious aspects of the issue of marriage entirely.
So by legal precedent, could they be essentially kind of forced into making a decision that for some may be politically not popular or not their stance?
I think that whatever they do will not have an effect in the final analysis on where the public's mind is. It may have an effect, and I think they're very sensitive to this, to making people less accepting the Supreme Court on both sides because they say they don't know what they're talking about.
How quickly do you think we'll get a decision made on this?
Well, I think they'll report out, you know, at the beginning of summer in June, and we'll have some indication where we're going, probably on both issues.
All right, let's talk about the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Joan Ori Melvin handed in her resignation to the governor yesterday. She, of course, was found guilty of using government funds to run her political campaigns. The governor has the option and may indeed appoint someone to replace her.
Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, an interesting outcome of the Pennsylvania Press Club's briefing yesterday by Chief Justice Ron Castile said that if the governor and the Senate don't move expeditiously, he'll exercise his right to have the Supreme Court nominate their own choice to be the 7th member for a temporary period. That's an unusual threat to come from the Chief Justice, but it will I think it'll get light a fire under the governor, who probably wants to be able to name as conservative a person as he could right now, and the Senate will probably move expeditiously, I think, even without the threat.
So 2/3 of the Senate, right?
Yeah.
To do that.
All right. Well, Tony May, thank you so much for joining us today.
Charlie missed a good time.
Yeah,
we
didn't leave Charlie out on purpose. We tried to get him.
And you can catch our Political Insiders every Tuesday here on CBS 21 News at 5:30.
And for all your statewide political news, tune in Sundays at 11:30 for Face the State, immediately following CBS's Face the Nation.